The drone should have had no reason to die. That's the thought that stayed with me longest, not the speed, not the silence, but the fact that the thing shouldn't have failed. Training units in Sector 7 were rated for direct hits, EMP bursts, structural collapse. Nobody built them to survive a human. I watched Maya Reeves walk into the briefing room 3 days before that happened, and the whole room went still in a way that had nothing to do with manners. My mandibles wouldn't stop clicking. Something about her eyes, forward set, tracking, built for chasing things rather than watching for what was chasing her. Commander Val ran through the week's assessment in that green, tired voice of his. Track and eliminate training drones, 5 kills wins, no excessive force, no eating your partner, that last part aimed at the Vorgash, who took it personally. Maya asked only one question. Are there restrictions on methodology? Val said standard protocols applied. She nodded like she'd filed the answer away for later use. They paired her with Rix, a Morphidian the size of cargo equipment who introduced himself by apologizing for being slow. She looked up, way up, and told him that worked fine. She was fast enough for both of them. I got Kelter, a Zentry who ran diagnostics on his own scanner 3 times out of nerves. Good partner, bad omen. Sector 7 was fog and shifting gravity and drones that could hear a heartbeat from 50 meters. A human heart at rest sounds like a drum solo to anything with real hearing. So when the countdown ended and we went through the doors, I expected Maya to be the loudest thing in that fog. She wasn't in it at all. She'd already gone somewhere else, still, barely breathing, gone. Kelter and I found our first drone the careful way, angles and cover and patience. Before we could move, a whistle cut through the fog, sharp, almost musical. The drone's sensors swung toward the sound instead of up, and that was Maya's mistake to make it make. She dropped from directly above it. I never found out how she got above it, and by the time it registered weight on its chassis, her hand was already in its processing port. It didn't spark and fall. It just stopped, all at once, like something had reached in and switched off the idea of it functioning. 3 seconds, whistle to kill. Later, Kelter told me, voice flat with disbelief, that she hadn't taken a breath for 45 seconds before that strike. Not slowed, stopped. He kept saying it like repeating it would make it make sense. By the time the exercise ended early, Val's voice cracking with something none of us had heard from him, Maya and Rix had 5 kills between them and the rest of us barely had 1. In the debrief, Val asked her to explain her methodology. She said humans didn't have claws or venom or armor, so they'd learned something else. How to drive prey into a pattern with noise, then take it from the angle it wasn't watching. Someone laughed from the back, called it dramatic, said they were just training drones. Maya turned and looked at him. She didn't bare teeth. She didn't need to. Training drones, she repeated, quiet enough that the temperature in the room seemed to actually change. That should have been the worst of it. It wasn't. 3 days later, hand-to-hand evaluations put her against Torvin, a Vagrian built like a retaining wall, 4 arms, nearly 3 meters of a species that survived a high-gravity world by refusing to die. He told her, with real concern, that he didn't want to hurt her. Maybe they should ask for a different pairing. She told him not to worry about it. He closed the distance in 2 strides. The obvious play, grab her, hold her, wait for the tap. She wasn't there. She folded under his reaching arm at an angle that looked wrong for a body to make, and by the time he'd spun to track her, she was already behind him, then on him, legs locked around his torso, arm around a throat that most predators on his homeworld had learned to leave alone. His arms flailed, strong enough to bend steel useless against something riding his own blind spot. Submit, she said, calm, like she was reminding him of an appointment. He said he couldn't. Vagrians didn't breathe often, but they still breathed. 5 seconds later he tapped the mat, and she let go instantly, dropped clear, and offered him a hand up before his legs had finished remembering how to hold him. You are very fast, he said, still catching his breath. You've got good instincts, she told him. Just work on tracking faster opponents. He took her hand. The rest of the week built the same way, the marksmanship range. The moving target simulation, where she cleared 37 holograms with 0 misses and 0 civilian hits while sliding across a mock street like she'd rehearsed a script that didn't exist yet. Val's scales went the color of paper reading the final score. She called it point and click. Then came the assembly nobody had been prepared for. A merchant vessel, seized. Raiders, 23 hostages. Admiral Cresian read off the names for a live strike team, and when Maya's name came up the whole auditorium turned to find her, sitting calm in row 8 like the sentence hadn't been about her at all. The breach happened 3 hours later. I was 2 positions back with Kelter, both of us running breathing drills that weren't working. Maya sat across from us with her eyes half closed, metabolism dialed down to something barely present, and then the 10-second mark hit, and she came back into her body all at once, weapon up, breath gone slow and mechanical again. The door blew. Rex went through first, drawing fire, shields eating the first volley. Maya went half a second behind him and simply started closing distance nobody else could close, dropping hostiles in bursts that never wasted a second shot, pivoting before the last body had finished falling. A raider came up on Rex's blind flank with a clear shot. She put him down without breaking stride. 18 minutes, breach to clear, every hostage alive, not one of ours hurt. Rex asked her afterward where she'd learned to move like that. Standard infantry training, she told him, like the answer explained anything. I found her that night on the observation deck, watching the stars instead of the debrief reports. I told her the operation had been extraordinary. She said it was a team effort, everyone did their part. Then she asked me something, quiet, not looking away from the stars. Did I trust her? Honestly. I thought about the drone that stopped like a switch had been thrown, about Torvin's hand finally meeting hers on the mat, about a raider going down half a second before he could take Rex's life. I said yes. I meant it. She smiled, not the careful, polite smile from the commissary, something looser, more tired, more real, and said that meant something to her. Rankings went up the next morning. First place, highest combined score in the Academy's recorded history, Cadet Maya Reeves. She took the applause with a small nod and walked off laughing at one of Rix's jokes, already halfway to forgetting she'd earned it. I watched her go, and for the first time since that first silent room, the thing I felt wasn't fear. Behind her, on the observation deck glass she'd been staring through an hour before, her breath had fogged a small patch that was only now starting to fade.